Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. Today we're gonna be talking about the Dojutsus in the Naruto world. And by Dojutsu, I mean the Ocular Kekkei possessed by a certain clan. So I will be splitting this video into as many parts as I feel necessary. Now there are a number of eyes in Naruto world, but I will be taking only the two main Ocular Kekkei, which are the Sharingan and the Byakugan. Now before I begin, I'll say that I'll cover almost all of the main Kekkei or Ocular Jutsus or whatever you want to call them. I will be covering Sharingan, Mangekyo Sharingan, EMS, Rinnegan, Byakugan, and the Tenseigan. And as for today, I will be covering the Byakugan and the Tenseigan. The Byakugan is a Kekkei possessed by the Hyuga clan. It does not require to be awakened like the Sharingan does because it is already awakened. So basically what type of eye is the Byakugan, you might be wondering. The Byakugan can help you to see long-range attacks, study the chakra network system of any ninja or human in very high details, in which you can also see the chakra points of a human. This ability of long-range vision can be further enhanced by training. The best example would be Hinata, because during the Chunin exam arc she could only see up to 50 meters, and during the war arc she could see up to 50 kilometers. I do not have a very good idea about distances, but from 50 to 50k, yeah, it is pretty insane. So basically one of the main characters of the Byakugan is X-ray vision. Now, with the Byakugan comes two more abilities, which is the 360-degree rotation and 8 trigrams 64 or 128 palms. As you can get from the name 360-degree rotation, it is basically for defensive purposes. It creates a sensory region around the user to protect himself from attacks. Now you might think that there's no way to put up against an invincible barrier like this with a sensory region, but yeah, there is a place, or you can call it a blind spot. There is a blind spot to attack just behind the, what can I say, it's just below the neck, behind the throat. Just that's the blind spot. No matter how powerful a jutsu is, there always are blind spots. Now, as for the 8 tangram 64 palms or 128 palms, which is basically a jutsu created by the Hyuga for close range combat, this technique also uses the Byakugan's X-ray vision. This jutsu targets the chakra point, and if it hits the target, the person cannot even stand, as nature remarks that Naruto, after being hit by the 8 trigram 64 palm, can still stand up is pretty commendable. Yeah, when put up against the Sharingan, the Byakugan is somehow inferior to it. I mean, it's not just somehow, it is gravely inferior to it, because the Sharingan has so much, and that I will be discussing in a later video on, so I will rather not spoil the fun for you people. But really, when compared to the Sharingan, the abilities of the Byakugan falls short, very short when in comparison. So really, it's pretty unfortunate for the Hyuga if, I mean, a Hyuga goes up against an Uchiha. So yeah, well, that's about it for the Byakugan. Now I would rather go for the Tenseigan. Now, there is not a lot of info about the Tenseigan, but people often refer it as the evolution of the Byakugan, which is so wrong, because the Tenseigan is formed by the eyes of several Byakugan, or to put it simply, several Byakugans make one pair of Tenseigan. Now, the ability of the Tenseigan is pretty confusing because Tonari says that it is capable of destroying an entire planet, but when he uses it against Naruto, the parts are no different than the 6-path Sage mode, because we can see the truth-seeking orbs floating in the air. Now, there might be a little confusion amongst the viewers, because if Tenseigan is something which belongs to the Osutsuki clan, then why are the Hyugas required? Now, this is because Tonari killed everyone on the moon and used their Byakugans, but they were not pure enough. Mark my word, pure enough. So, when he stole Hanabi's eyes, or Hinata's sister's eye, he said it himself, how can these eyes be so pure? So, I think to activate and use the Tenseigan, the person has to have the purest possible eye. But this is where I don't get the logic of the Jogan or the pure eye, since all of the Osutsuki have had the Byakugan as their Kekkei Genkai. Well, isn't it a bit confusing to you people? Well, let's not go there for now. So, yeah, really, Tenseigan's derivation is very confusing. But the parts are simple enough to understand, since they are no different than the parts given to Naruto or Sasuke by the Six Paths. I mean, the Sage of Six Paths. Well, that's about it for today's video. Hope you guys have enjoyed it to the end, and if you did, please drop a like. I will be doing my very best on the next episode. The Anime Guy out.